Good morning. We are going to be continuing in the first Sicha in the Malchus, the second paragraph. So the Rebbe continues, Mizesha Rambam Moisef as Haraya Af Bepashas Bilam Nemar Afo Pisha Kavar Hevel Fneze Raya Letzem Inyan Shahareya Teira Heida Olav Shenemar Bashav Hashem Lakecha Eshavuscha. This that the Rambam brings adds that even in Parshas Bilam, it speaks about Moshiach, even though he just brought a proof from Vashav Hashem Lakecha Shavuscha, and that would have been technically enough to tell us that the Torah promises for Moshiach, and one who doesn't believe in him is a kafir. Mashma, we could take out from there, Ukamuvim Pashtus L'Sheina, from it's understood from the simple text of the Rambam. Shahaksuvim Parshas Bilam, maybe Harama Beikar Loida Karaya, let's be Hamashiach Gulas Yisrael Mehagolos, that the psukim that the Rambam brings is not just to tell us that Mashiach is going to come and the Mashiach is going to take us out of Golos, the Geula, the redemption from the exile that we are in, Elagam Sheniba B'Shnei HaMashiachim, that, but also to tell us that the Torah says testimony on the fact that there's the two Mashiachs. There's the Mashiach Harishon, Shehu David, Mashiach Acharein, She'oimin Mibanav, that is going to come from David HaMelech. It's going to take the Yidden out of Galus in the last Galus. So the fact that the Rambam says that Mashiach, that the Torah testifies on the two Mashiachs, that's why the Rambam, in order for us to know which the two Mashiachs, so therefore the Rambam continues and specifies which one is David and which one is Mashiach. But this in itself needs explanation. It's fine, I understand that you want to bring me from Parshas Bilam, that even in Parshas Bilam we also have psukim that speak about Moshiach. So the Rebbe says that, okay, you want to say that the Rambam is bringing Parshas Bilam because in Parshas Bilam it says clearly that is referring to Mashiach, and from the pasuk in Parshas Nitzavim in Vashav Hashem Lakecha Shavuscha, it doesn't say specifically that it's referring to Mashiach as a person. It says Mashiach as the idea, as the redemption in general, the Geula in general. Lachin maybe Gamraya Mahamafurish B'Torah Shenibal Malach HaMashiach. So therefore the Rambam brings a specific pasuk in Torah that testifies about the coming of Mashiach, that says prophecy on the coming of Mashiach. So if you want to tell me specifically, Torah speak about Mashiach, then bring those pasuk. Bring that is speaking about Mashiach. Why do you need that it's speaking about David HaMelech when your main focus is basically telling me on about the belief of Mashiach, if your whole goal is to tell me the specific of Mashiach as the person, not just the Geula in general? B'frat, and more specifically, Barichas Lefarish Kol Prati Halushenis Baksuvim Ezemhem Medabrim B'Melech David Ve'Eze B'Melech HaMashiach. And why do we need the whole lengthy specifics of which part of the pasuk is referring to David and which is referring to Mashiach, if the whole goal of what the Rambam is bringing over here is to possibly prove that the Torah itself testifies and gives prophecy on the coming of Mashiach as a person that we would not know if the Rambam would have just brought V'shav Hashem, the first pasuk from Parshas Nitzavim of V'shav Hashem Lakecha Shavuscha, that the Yidden are going to return back to Eretz Yisrael. It's interesting to note that when when the Rebbe says that from the first pasuk in Parashat Nitzavim, V'shav Hashem Lakecha Shavuscha, is speaking about that we would not necessarily know that it's referring to Mashiach as the person, even though we know that it's referring to the Geula, the redemption. The Rebbe brings in the footnote number 19 from the Gemara in Sanhedrin and from the Chassam Sofer. The Gemara in Sanhedrin, Tzadik Tesamad Aleph, possibly, I think it may be a typo, that it's Tzadik Tes Amud Beis. I don't know, unless it's brought down two places. But the Rebbe brings from the Gemara that over there it says that Ein Moshiach li Yisrael. That there's an opinion of Rabbi Hillel that says that there's no Mashiach for the Yidden, but Hashem is going to take them out of Galus himself. The Rebbe brings from the Chassam Sofer at the end of his response in Yeridea, that the Chassam Sofer says clearly that one who goes like one who goes like Reb Hillel is a kaifer, and his lashon is b'ha'omer ein Mashiach. Someone who says that there is no Mashiach, v'kim like Reb Hillel harehu kaifer b'chal haTorah, and he is a kaifer in the general part of Torah. So the rabbis are just bringing this as part of that to prove, to give, if you want to say validation to his question of that from Vashav Shalom Chashavuscha, we would not necessarily know that it's referring to Mashiach as the person. And one who goes as far as to say that it's just referring to the Gula. Now Mashiach is obviously a kaifer, so that's just adding from if the Rambam does want to prove that it's speaking about Mashiach, it would suffice to just bring the beginning of Kamshevim Yisrael. Why do we need the specifics of which one is referring to David and which one is referring to Mashiach?